Good morning, everyone. This is Bill Keegan, Town Manager in Foxboro, with your latest COVID-19 update. Great to be back with you again. Just a reminder that I'm no longer going to be doing these on a daily basis, but I'll be doing them like on an every other day basis. So the next update will be on Monday. I'm going to forego the weekends as well at this point, primarily because the number of cases in Foxborough has gotten down to a very, very low number. And if they were to rise again, I certainly would get back and provide more detailed and more current and more often type of updates. But right now, the good news is that we are down to 3 cases in Foxborough, 3 active cases. Total number of positive cases since March 15th has been 114. The total recovered is 100. 3 cases are active at this point in time, and 11 people have been lost in the follow-up phase. 1,141 people have tested negative, and 2 people remain in the hospital, and 1 person has died as a result of COVID-19. 12 people have tested positive for the antibody testing. That number, we don't get a lot of people doing those tests, so that number stays pretty steady for the most part until that becomes more of a common type test. That number will probably likely to stay the same for a while. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening on the Norfolk County side, and the latest information on that is that 8,908 cases have occurred in Norfolk County. 903 cases, 903 deaths associated with cases in Norfolk County, which is a relatively high number. I mean, it's actually over 10% now. So it looks like the cases, they've got a number of serious cases in Norfolk County, but not so much in Foxborough, obviously. So we've only had that 1 case that resulted in a death here in Foxborough. A total of 7,743 cases of deaths have occurred in Massachusetts overall. A total of 106,151 total cases have occurred in Massachusetts since the beginning. 727,549 people have been tested. So it's a pretty good number, and then taking a look at where we are with the hospital bed status. A significant reduction in the number of hospital beds that are available now, because the need has dropped significantly. 12,500 beds are available now as compared to 17,300 just a few days ago. The total number of COVID cases in the hospital is down below 1,000 to 998. So again, the numbers continue to drop rather precipitously, which is great to see that. And also 227 people are in ICU at this point in time. Again, a number that continues to drop as a result of the progression of the virus here in Massachusetts. So good to see that the numbers continue to be returning in a favorable direction, and that we're not overly concerned with where things are happening at this point in time. Obviously, we want to make sure that we stay that way. We're seeing more and more restaurants are starting to open up and do outdoor dining opportunities and experiences. Again, really important though that people continue to follow the guidelines and the face mask requirements, things that the social distancing requirements, washing your hands. All those things still need to be done on a regular basis, become part of your daily routine now, as we continue to work through this part of the epidemic, and that we continue to follow those rules, irrespective of the fact that our numbers are low here. We don't want to get into a situation where those numbers start to increase again. Right now, there's been no threat of that happening here in Massachusetts, but in 24 other states around the country, numbers are starting to increase a little bit again for various different reasons, and I'm not really in a position to really comment exactly why that's been happening. In fact, I think it's still a bit of a mystery for most people. But here in Massachusetts, the numbers continue to remain relatively low, and we're clearly on the downside of where the cases have been happening here since March 15th. Some really good news to report out this morning is that yesterday we were advised late after the afternoon, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock last night, that we actually received the $1 million grant that we applied for through the CARES Act We received notification that the money's actually here in our accounts, and we received it before the end of the fiscal year, which was great news as well. So we are $1 million ahead in that respect. So we're gonna make up for the money that we've spent. We're also going to be eligible for FEMA money on top of that. So that's another federal resource that's going to be providing additional money to us as well. Don't know the timing of that piece of it, but the $1 million is actually in the accounts now, so we have that in the town's coffers right now. So again, just a reminder too that we made it through town meeting, so we do have a budget as of July 1st. I know there was a number of communities that are still trying to figure that part of it out. I know that Mansfield, I think, is going to be meeting next Tuesday night for their annual meeting, and so they'll be getting their business done. Foxboro is now completed, so therefore we can move forward with a budget for fiscal year 2021, starting on July 1st. We're in the process of wrapping things up for fiscal year 2020. Good to report too that our personal property and real estate tax level has hit 98% collected, which is something that I know that was a concern and question that came up during the town meeting the other night. At that point, the number was around 97, but as of today, the number is up to 98%. Actually a little over 98% in that respect, which is consistent with how it's been in previous years. So we're not seeing any real significant impacts to the town, at least at this point in time. So we're hoping that as things begin to reopen, that we're going to see a continued trend in the right direction, and revenues will start to return to where they were before. Again, the trailing number, which will be the one that is associated with the OPEB payment and some of the road work, is the hotels and motel tax, but that is not affecting our local revenue intake. That money was really it was counted, but it was sent directly towards the OPEB as an offset. So really not. We're not making the OPEB payment at this point in time. So it's the fact that we're not receiving that money would only be a bonus at this point. So if we do receive some money, it would be a bonus at this point. So I should say it that way. We're hoping that we'll still start to see that, and if that's the case throughout the course of the next year, if we do in fact see revenues come in higher than anticipated, then we will turn around and remain committed to make that payment. Even if it's a portion of it, we'll still make the commitment to do that even during the course of the next year, if in fact the money starts to come in to offset that cost. So that is where we stand currently. We're happy to be able to report that we did get the federal money in, and it's actually in the town's coffers at this point in time. So that's really good news, and so we'll be able to close that out as part of fiscal year 2020. So that's the latest update here from a COVID-19 update here from Foxboro. Again, just a reminder that we only have 3 cases active here in Foxboro. 2 cases, however, do remain in the hospital, so we want to be mindful of those folks and hope that they continue to progress in the right direction, and hopefully see them out of there soon. But that's the latest update we have. Try and enjoy the weather. It's going to be great. It's going to get really warm over the next few days, so enjoy the weather while you can. Enjoy the great weather we've been experiencing here, and hope to see you back here. I'll see you back here on Monday with another update of how things have progressed over the past weekend, and let you know what's happening here on the latest COVID-19 update. Until then, have a great day, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.